łe'oogeed. Okay, folks, we're going to build a fire. Now, I'm going to build a smokeless fire pit. Now, I'm not going to tell you the name of it because, I don't know. This is, my grandfather built this. We're going to use that area. Now, you're going to think Grandma's crazy, but here, this is what we're making us. Here, let's hold it. A smokeless fire pit. I call it Shi Nali Fire Pit, and they call it the Dakota Fire Pit. So anyways, that's that for that. Grandma's picture. And I want you to see our invention. Sometimes you run into problems when you do this, okay? Because you want a fire hole right there, and you also want an airway. And there's another hole over there, and I'll show you. See, this is what it looks like. You're going to go down into the hole. See, here's the hole, the pit, and then you're going to go on the other side, and there's a little area where you can see through, and you end up on this side, and that's where the air comes out. So you have this fire pit, and the air goes through there. You're supposed to do it up, you know, where the wind is blowing from this direction, and we are not even in that position because, I mean, look at this area. I mean, we're just like, wow. It's, I didn't realize how many rocks were here. So Grandma's going to start building a fire, and we're going to fix some food with this. They call it the Dakota Fire Pit, Smokeless Fire Pit. We'll see. Let's prove it here. See, my grandfather did it with the dirt. And you were able to use it, but this thing's got rocks galore. So we improvised. Now, when you build this fire, okay, you want everything, all of your wood, you want down at the bottom. And instead of making the fire from the bottom like normal, you build the fire from the top. You burn the fire from the top down. I hope you understand that concept, but and you know, it's kind of funny how they lay stuff like this with tree bark. The bark is really good because that's kind of what you use for the fire. And Grandma's putting this nice piece of wood here. And then so we want the fire to be going in there. And so it's kind of a weird little setup that you have to know how to make this fire pit. Of course, there at the top, that's when you start to make your little teepee, or what I call a teepee, so you can have the fire here, and everything needs to burn at the bottom later. That's to cook with and stuff like that. Now we're going to do this, and we're hoping the fire, I'm hoping the fire, we're hoping the fire goes that way, that it will suck the smoke in. So here's our smokeless fire. Notice the smoke is coming out here, and there's no smoke here. Just now and then, not very much. You're not getting tons of, you know, like, woohoo, here I am. Every now and then. So I'm going to be cooking pretty soon. We've got to let this burn down a hair. Pretty cool. Now that we're freezing to death after we ate and cooked, see where the smoke is coming out? That's the idea of the whole thing. I hope you understand. And the updraft should be coming from here. And look where we are. freezing cold. Look, this is where we're eating out, where it's snow and it's cold. Okay, so, but do you see where the smoke is coming out? And that's the fire smoke. Okay, 10-4. We are at the end of our underground fire pit excursion, and I have drawn this for you so that you can see, and Grandma will read this to you. The underground fire pit is ideal for heat, stealth camping, which means overnight camping, a new word, trivia, and high winds. When you create this fire pit, you need to position, number one, with an updraft, so the wind is coming from the back up. Okay, here's the fire, and the wind needs to be going up, and that's where it carries the smoke up. Number two, use seasoned dry wood. It's really important because you don't want to signal, if you don't want anybody to know where you are, you don't want the whole world to know that you've got a fire and you're sending smoke signals saying, hello, here I am. I like to be obtrusive, and so that's really important for me. And so anyways, number three, the fire pit limits visibility, like Grandma just said. It is also perfect. It's usually a hotter fire, and because it doesn't have contact with the air, the cold air, and it's down in the ground. Now, number five, using green or damp foliage or fir and spruce boughs or moss, what that will do is create white smoke, and you might as well just say, here I am. Those are perfect for smoke signals. So we have the updraft. Now we have this part. The first hole you dig, it's about 2.5 feet. I did that. That's my preference. And then you build the wood here and do a fire at the top so that the fire is burning down, okay? And it has intense heat. You make a little tunnel, and then you dig a smaller hole over here. And in between this is about 10 inches. Then the 8-inch, there's an 8-inch opening here. So the updraft takes and pulls the smoke and goes up. That's just the way it is. And then it goes up. You won't get a lot of smoke. If you remember with the last video, and you noticed that Grandma's fire was going, and you could see some of the fire come this way, but there was very little smoke. And that's the idea. And it's really wonderful. Notice Grandma has the smoke and it goes out this way. And this is so perfect for overnight camping. You can actually almost build something around it so that that heat is very intense. And, you know, you're not going to kill yourselves with the smoke if you have, you know, something built around it. The smoke will just kind of dissipate. And that's really awesome about this whole thing. And remember, this is a smokeless fire pit. And I call it Shi Nali Fire Pit. The Dakota Fire Pit is what it's called. Now remember, in the Diné Bizad, this is called kon. And kon łe'oogeed, what I said was you build a fire down into the earth. So you say lle, you're going down. Łe'oogeed means it's been shoveled out. Okay, kon łe'oogeed, and Grandma will show you that word. And that was at the beginning of our video. So ending, remember, let's say this is the Smokeless Fire Pit, Shi Nali Fire Pit, or the Dakota Fire Pit. So it's kon łe'oogeed. interpreting fire pit, underground fire. You can almost get that gist. Łe'oogeed. I hope you understand that. Thank you so much for watching. This is going to be the last video for the Native American Heritage Month. And Grandma just thought she'd entertain you with a fire pit. And the Native Americans had fire pits everywhere. I hope you enjoyed the Native American Heritage Month. And now we have December coming up. Grandma's not going to be doing the monthly theme, the name, because you should already have that. And so that will be ended. It will be, the December is going to be about staying indoors, playing games, telling stories. We'll start with some stories. I think that's going to be fun. So thank you again. I hope you're all watching, and please share. Grandma's really having a hard time here. I need some people to share my videos. I really would appreciate it. Thank you kindly. Haggonet.